Hello YouTube and welcome. This is episode 24 of my Let's Play Kerbal Space Program series. And if you're new to the channel, if you check to the top right, there should be a link you can click to go to the playlist if you want to start from the beginning. And in this episode, we're going to continue, we're going to check off another item on our 50-point list. And I will show you the spreadsheet here right quick. So last episode we knocked out this send probe on flyby/orbit of Eve. And in fact we orbited the planet and then returned the probe back to Kerbal surface. So I brought it back because of a contract that we had to return a probe. This episode we're going to go to Duna. And I'm not necessarily going to return that one to Kerbal. I'm mainly interested in just probing the system, because we have to probe all of these systems before we can actually send Kerbals to the system. So I figured we could go ahead and knock out Duna next. But I want to check some contracts to see if it gives us anything for Duna, since we've unlocked it. I have Eve. Make ground contact on Eve. You know, that would be a nice contract. Some nice financial rewards there, but I'm not ready to land on Eve yet. Let's see this contract. Bring volcanic rock back with you. From Eve. So there's volcanic rock on Eve. Okay, well, I don't see any specific contracts for that. Now before I go flying through space again, I want to visit all of my science stations, because we should have some science waiting for us to collect. Because the last mission took years, and during that time the lab should have been processing their data. So let's see what we've got. It's updating. Well, it's still not quite finished because we've kind of capped out our science here, but that's almost 500. Let's go ahead and transmit that. And this is from Kerbal. Yeah, I'm over Kerbal here. So I'll transmit that, and then we'll go to the next station. And luckily we have these larger antennas now. I think I did that off camera. I sent a antenna section up. You can see here it includes, we had a probe for control, and then I had just I added this can here just as a structure, and I put some different docking ports on here. So you can see this is a junior, in case we ever come across a situation where a ship has a docking port junior on it, or a Clampotron junior, we can dock with the station. So I put 2 of those on here, and then this was my engine section. I can decouple this at any point, and I have another docking point here. So just wanted to show you that. And now let's go back. Wonder if I can go there from here. Let's go out to the moon next and go to that station. There it is. See what kind of science we have here. Same deal. Wow, there's a lot of data still to process on this one, so we'll transmit that. So that should be about 1,500 science between all 3 of these. We're really digging into our battery here. Oh, I haven't updated the antenna on this one yet. Yeah, I need to do that. Yeah, I did. Here it is. Well, it completed. I didn't use all my battery because I have this massive generator section on here. Hard to chew through 10,000 or almost 15,000 electric charge. Alright, and then finally, let's go to Minmus, and we'll get this science. Nice. So we still have quite a bit of data left on this one as well. So as we're flying out to Duna and back, this will keep processing all this data, and we should have even more science waiting for us when we get back from Duna. Now this one I sent, when I built it, I remembered to add the antenna to this one. So it does not have a separate antenna module. And we're good. Alright, let's return back to the Space Center and see how much science we have now. $25.47. That's amazing. Just remember back to the early episodes when I was scrounging around trying to find somewhere to get some more science, but now we've got more than we can handle. So I do want to get this pretty soon. Maybe next episode we'll work on getting this Sentinel infrared telescope in orbit. I believe, I have to do a little research, but I think if we put it in a specific orbit around Kerbal, the sun, then it would just start automatically looking for asteroids. So I'm just looking to see, we can get into rovers now with this. We have larger antennas, and that's actually something I need to look at. I think Duna's closer than, oh, we get a nicer battery here. We start getting in these fuel cell arrays, and eventually we can get to the basically the nuclear batteries. We can also get the nuclear engine now, or the atomic rocket motor. That may be worth using for this trip. I think for this trip I'll just go ahead and use the same setup that we had with our Eve mission, because it's less Delta V to get to Duna. It's much less, actually. It's only, I think I calculated up about 5,500. Let's see, we need 3,800 for the orbit of Kerbin, plus 950 to leave Kerbin's sphere of influence, then another 140 to get our intercept, then 250 for an elliptical orbit, and 360 if we wanted to circularize. So 5,500 gets us into a nice circular orbit of Duna. So that's going to be very easy to do with our existing setup. We're going to have way more Delta V than we need on this. I am going to go ahead and use this same setup here. I do need to look at the, let's just check the antenna setup for Duna. If I change this to Duna, direct signal strength. So 58%, that's fine for what we're doing. Which is strange. Well, I guess it is farther away. So if you look at the farthest point that these two, since it's on an orbit outside of Kerbin, at its farthest point it will be farther away, but 58% is still enough to control the craft. So with the two RA-15s we have on board, we should be good to go. Alright, so let's launch this thing and figure out an encounter to Duna. And like last time, I'm going to put this into orbit around Kerbin. So I'm going to cut here and meet you on the other side. Okay, and here we are. I'm just going to correct my inclination a little bit. And there we are. Alright, so got us in about a 74 kilometer orbit. And we have about 400 Delta V left on that booster section, plus plenty of Delta V from the other two sections here. So So let us set a target for Duna. And let's see what the computer says. Starts to burn in 1 hour. Oh, that's wrong. I need to set it to Duna. So I need to cancel this and create a Duna maneuver here. That puts us year 6. What year are we currently? We're currently year 5. So that's probably good, because we're getting close to year 6. It's 334 days. So that should be fine. Let me focus my view here and see if I can look at this. So that should be fine. It looks like we can get us a good prograde orbit here. No, that's retrograde. Can I change this to get it to a prograde? Yeah, I think that would be better. Okay, I'm happy with that maneuver. It takes almost 1100 delta V. So we'll do that. Now I want to go ahead and deploy our fairing. And let's get us some solar panels going. Extend that one, extend this one. And then I'm going to go ahead and close this up for now. Alright, let's get to this maneuver. It takes forever for this. I need to add some reaction wheels, I guess, because it just takes forever. I could go ahead and separate now. We have plenty of delta V, but I hate to waste delta V. It'd be nice to get out there with a couple of thousand left so we could make other maneuvers in the future if we wanted to. Thinking maybe we could put this one eventually into a polar orbit, possibly. That might help with communications with the relay network. So I really don't want to waste any delta V just in case some other opportunity comes up in the future. Alright, we're getting close. I'm going to go ahead and fast forward to our maneuver. We can delete that one. That was for Eve. Whoa. Sorry about that. Freaking you out. Ooh, look at the ice caps. Alright, so we're almost at our burn. This thing is still trying to get positioned. I think it's just going to be close enough in time. And burn. Okay. So I have to separate this section out. And then this will be 3 minutes. So I'm going to cut here and see you when we get close to our Duna intercept. Okay, I'm closing in on the end of my burn here. And like last time, I'm going to try to get this brown line to just touch this purple one. And just going to have to kind of eyeball it here and cut. So I think that will do. Because what I notice, this line isn't affected by my burn, so I have to close out of this one. And then let me focus my view here. And now I'll have to try to get this manually. So we'll come somewhere along our line here and add a maneuver. And let's see what we can do. If we burn a little prograde, that gives me an encounter. Okay. Our inclination is weird. I guess Duna's not on the same plane as Kerbal. I thought it was. Maybe we can bring this down like that. Let's do that first. Get the inclination to match. And then we can work on drawing this in closer. Okay. Now, if I go prograde, will that pull us in closer? I think we're going to go for a high orbit, something like probably somewhere maybe around 1 million. Oh yes, bring me in. 700,000. I wanted to stick at about 1 million, mainly because of the farther out we are, the more likely we are to have our comm link. So I think we'll just stick with around 1 million. .161. That's fine. So now this is our escape. Last time I messed up and I warped to here instead of warping to here. It won't let me warp that far, so let's warp to here. And we are flying through space at a cool 10,000 meters per second. Alright, and here we are. We are in our sphere of influence of Duna. Just looking at the planet here. Pretty barren planet. Some pretty large ice caps there. Alright, so let's get our capture orbit. And like I said, I'm going to bring this down to about 1 million. It's pretty circular there. It wouldn't take much to get on out to Ike, would it? We could probably take a look at both of those in this trip. But I don't know, I really kind of like the idea of, if I have enough fuel, putting this into a polar orbit around Duna, just to help with future missions. Alright, that's going to be a almost a 7-minute orbit burn. Alright, we're drawing in on our orbit here. Just a few seconds out. Get us down to about 1.2 million there, or 1.1 million. And my periapsis is dropping now, so that's good. I'm happy with that. So we got a nice little circular orbit of Duna here. Let's get that science. I have a full electric charge. And let's see what the temperature is in space. It'll give us 20 science, and we have enough. Well, we got 73% signal strength. So we'll go ahead and transmit that, and that will fulfill our obligation in terms of getting our achievement on our point system there. So now the question is, do I want to go out to Ike while I'm here and take a look? We have so much Delta V. It might be worth a look. What would it take? Oh, is it on a different plane? Oh, I'm thinking about this wrong. I don't know what the orbital period is. Let's see if I can just do it manually then. Oh, we got an encounter there. So that would have us coming in retrograde. If we can flip that around here. Doesn't appear so. Looks like retrograde's the only thing it's going to give me. Well, I guess we'll take it. It's only 130 Delta V to get out here to Ike. So let's go ahead and do that while we're here. Might as well. That'll probably give us some more World First milestone money. Enter Duna, flyby of Duna, and scientific data from Duna. So let's do the same thing. Let's get out there to Ike and take a look at that. And I can always return with this much Delta V. I can return later if I want to do that polar orbit of Duna. This will be the first moon that we have gone to outside of the Kerbal system. And go. With this much delta V, we might even be able to take this probe to other systems from here. Ooh. Alright, let's see how this would be the encounter here. There it is. Now, what does my comm network look like here? Okay, I should be able to get my maneuver here. That would be okay, we'll live with that. Let me officially get into the sphere of influence here. Not many craters on that moon. And go. All right. Here we are. There's Ike. Very cool. Let's send some science back from Ike. See how much we get for that. 20. It's not great, but maybe we'll get another milestone. No, guess not. You did. We got money for orbiting Ike and for sending data back, so that's another 60,000 we got right there. Okay, well, that's another item off the checklist, and I'll mark the time. Year 6, day 282, hour 1, minute 30. So that's going to, oh, here's an interesting screenshot maybe. Got to have the screenshots or it didn't happen. And there we go. Alright, that's going to do it for this episode. Not sure what we'll do next time. We still got to send probes to other systems. We need to start thinking about landing on some of these worlds. I do still like the idea of maybe setting up that Sentinel probe next, so we can start scanning for asteroids. We still got to get moon bases down on the surface of the moon and Minmus, so I have to do that at some point. So still have a lot we got to cover, and we'll just keep plugging away at it until we get them all knocked out. So anyway, thanks for watching. Up here in the top right hand, you should see a link to the series if you need to go back and start from the beginning or check a specific episode out. And over in the left is a subscribe button. I appreciate all those who subscribe. And that's going to do it for this video. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next episode.